Hi everyone, Sharon here with Mac-Senior in Hungary, and this is our favorite ice cream store. It's also a bakery, and I just love their ice cream. It's the best in all of Hungary as far as we're concerned, but I love videotaping their cakes, even though it's not something I want to eat. I'm fascinated with how they do cakes in Hungary. These next images are of a indoor farmers market. That's one of our favorite places to go. They have everything in this place, every kind of food, every kind of dessert, every kind of garment. I bought a wonderful backpack purse that I just love. Anyway, it's if you ever go to Budapest, you've got to go there. And here we are just traveling through the city, and we're approaching the large Ferris wheel that I've wanted to go on ever since I first saw it. So I got my chance, and I'll show it to you now. So here I am inside one of the little cars that are on the Ferris wheel, and they're still loading people, so it's not moving right now. But this is the view sort of from the top, and that's a beautiful little fountain down there. That's the basilica on the left, and I'm just sort of panning around. This is actually a view of Pest. Budapest is two cities, one on one side of the Duna and the other on the other side. And the hillside, which we're looking at now, that's, well, actually, that was Parliament. It's on the Pest side. And I'm panning towards the Basilica, and that's that large building that you see there. It holds King István's fist. And let me go to the internet and show you that. Okay, so this is what he was supposed to look like. This is István, the first king. And the story is that when they dug him up to canonize him in 1083, they found that his right arm still had flesh on it, like supposedly like the day he died, and the rest of his body was a mummy. And so they cut it off to use it as a holy relic. And so just the fist has been preserved, and it's there in the basilica, and you can go see it. Well, I hope that wasn't too gruesome. So here we are back on the Ferris wheel. And let me speed things up a little bit. And here's that fountain that I was telling you about. It's really pretty. And this was one of my favorite things that I've seen so far. It's called the beer bicycle. And you sit at this sort of like picnic table and drink beer while everyone pedals, and it propels the thing forward. Isn't that great? I just love that. And apparently we have one of those in Oakland also. So here we are going across the chain bridge. It's the most famous of all the bridges across what they call the Duna. We call it the Danube. And of course, it was bombed in World War II, and it's been restored. And this is a little cable car. You can't see the cable car right now, but those tracks lead up to Castle Hill. And we usually do that, but not this trip. We've done it so many times before that it's just not necessary. This is one of their circles that they have all over the country, and we really like the circle. And now we're in Miskolc, and we're at a museum that has these, I think they're 20 million year old trees. The black ones there are the real trees, and the ones to the left are recreations of what those trees looked like when they were in a forest 20 million years ago. It was really fascinating to be able to actually reach over and touch something that old. And these are some of the minerals that are found in Hungary. And this was a street fair in downtown Miskolc. And this part of Miskolc is really beautiful. And the main street has no cars on it. And I thought this was a very interesting bicycle that this little girl was riding. I'd never seen anything quite like that. they have a streetcar that goes down the middle of this part of town, and that's the only moving vehicles. And the lady in red there is our cousin Aggie. She's waiting for it to go by so she can go ahead. And I don't know if you can see that guy in the left in black over there. He's walking towards the ice cream store. That was my husband. And these beautiful flowers are in cousin Juji and Attila's front yard, and she's a postmistress. That was her sign. And this is our car um, with our international couple photograph on it. And they have a jade tree that's the biggest jade tree I've ever seen. I don't know how old it is, but it's just huge. We're on our way to a town that I can't pronounce the name of it, but it has a mural that was painted in the round in the late 1800s, and it depicts um, the story of the Hungarians and how they came to the Carpathian Basin. It was really interesting. And on the same grounds that where the museum was with that painting, they had not recreated a village, but they had literally dismantled an old village and brought it to this place. And this is a windmill that was an actual working windmill that they took apart and reassembled. And you could climb up inside it. It was too dark. All of the footage I shot inside was really too dark. This is where you put the wheat in, and then it goes around and does its grinding thing. This was a country store that had all the things that were available at the turn of the century. And I always loved the flowers. It was raining that day, but it didn't stop us. We had a great time. And this is looking into how they lived inside their house, an old treadle sewing machine. And then I believe this was, yeah, one how a kitchen looked at the turn of the century. Your old stove with the tea kettle sitting on it. They have very high ceilings. They still build like that here. And this, I believe, is a bakery. That is the oven. And the scale to measure out the amount of flour and such. Those things hanging on the wall are sifters, and I even have a Hungarian sifter that I use to um, sift my flour when I cook for you guys. When I bake for you guys, I should say. Oh, and I love this next image. This is a beauty parlor at the turn of the century. Isn't that interesting? And our cousin Juji, who is the postmistress of Mamfa, got a kick out of this scene because this is the postmistress's living quarters, and she did her work from where she lived. And I really enjoyed this one. This was the Milner's shop, and those were all the tools of the trade. And a real Milner, when he retired, he donated his actual shop, and they took it apart and rebuilt it here. And these were the tools of his trades, and this is the actual Milner himself. This is the pottery shop, or I should say a pottery shop that was donated for the cause, and there's the pottery wheel. Oh, I had a spinning wheel like that once. I still have a spinning wheel, but it doesn't look like that. Now, see how high the bed is? It's not really that high. They had all their covers on it, but that big round thing is the heater. And on the other side of the wall is the opening where you would put the wood. You'll see it right here. You put the wood in there to burn, and then it will heat up the whole room. And I don't know who this guy was, but I just thought he was really interesting. And you're going to see in the next shot, well, right here, this was where the villagers would come together for a lot of different purposes. And this lady had just made palachinta in little squares in a wood stove. And boy, it was so good. I ate about 4 of them. And this is a view that of the street between the buildings, and I just thought it was an interesting sight. This is a sleigh that they used when there's snow on the ground. And everywhere we went on our travels was canola oil fields. And I'm just fascinated by the fields of this beautiful yellow color. And I had to get these images, though, of the poppies and the canola oil fields from the internet because I'm having some sort of issue with my source footage. But at any rate, I wanted you to see what I was seeing. And the other thing that I love about this time of year in Hungary is the storks. They build these platforms on top of poles, and the storks come back every year. And um, I was trying to make this stork move by getting closer and closer, but she was pretty content up there on her perch. And she did kind of move a little bit, but sometimes you can actually see the babies, and it's really cute. So that's it for now. I'll publish more later, and I look forward to seeing you all again in my next class in Lafayette. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.